We think we're back.
We hope.
We've been having big troubles. We use a streaming platform to go live on both YouTube and Facebook, but today that platform, it keeps dropping. So as soon as we were on, even though you could see us, it was giving us a blank screen that said session expired. So we just ditched that platform and we're just live now on just YouTube, which has a lot of neat features and should be a little bit better. So we never do this. I'm not even sure how, but this is very exciting. This is live streaming at its absolute worst, best.
Yeah.
So hello, who are you?
Hello.
Hello. Joined today by not just Mike, but a cadre of our besties. So I'm turning this around. You see, there's Ando. Hello, Ando. We have Jeffrey, who jumped into the camera. Happy birthday, Jeffrey. He's sweet 16, never been kissed. We have Sarah Ann with us. Somewhere along the line is another little monster who doesn't want to be on camera. But we are about to go out and about. And first off, Mike, very romantic. Look at these two swans there.
Two of my favorite topiaries.
Yep. Topiary. There's a lot of things going on at the parks today. Not all of them great news.
No.
We're going to talk today about ticket prices going up, hours for the parks going down, lots of new merchandise for the holidays, construction. Some little things going on. A group of people all in matching shirts, some sort of a school group. But it has been a beautiful day because we have sort of a storm system. It was a hurricane in Mexico area. It was blowing up towards us, and it's now just a tropical storm. And it's blowing towards Southern California, which means there's been rain in the desert.
A little bit.
Beautiful clouds over Disneyland.
Makes for great pictures.
That's exactly my point. Like for you,
yeah,
it's always beautiful in California, but the best possible time to be here is when it's not great weather.
Right.
So if the weather is cloudy, you run to the parks.
Oh, for sure. Go get that bucket list photo of lightning behind the castle.
Look at this beautiful view of the Astro Orbiter with the puffy clouds behind it. Mike's actually taking the picture. Here's the magic in the making right there. This is how it's done. We're giving away all the secrets. And of course, the perpetual green box. This project, as you all well know, is the future entryway to Tomorrowland. This box went up before the pandemic, and it is still here, Mike.
Well before the pandemic, yes.
Yeah, so this is a never-ending project. We don't know what's taking so long. It could very well be that they have changed ideas on what they want to do.
But I would think that if
they
change the ideas, they should put something different there.
They're probably embarrassed that they have no idea. So. We rode the omnibus down the street a few weeks ago, and it really is a great way to see the decorations on Main Street, particularly all those pumpkins up and down the street.
Oh, yeah.
But we're headed this way. A few weeks ago, we also showed you, they swapped out one of the pumpkins for a new pumpkin. So Tiana is in there instead of Winnie the Pooh. And then I think on that same live, we mentioned they should get rid of the Tarzan pumpkin.
Oh, yeah.
Because he doesn't fit anymore now that it's the Adventureland treehouse. And that we thought that maybe they should replace him with a Tiki bird. Mike, what do you suppose happened?
I think they replaced him with a Tiki bird.
I think that they did. There's the zombie Tiana pumpkin. You see zombie Tiana. Something about her eyes and mouth. She just looks like she desperately wants beignets. Woody there for Frontierland. New Orleans Square, of course, has Jack Skellington. And here's our new one for Adventureland. Right over here. Instead of Tarzan, as it was, it is now Tiki Bird.
I think this is so much better.
It is odd for them to swap anything out in the middle of the season. They swapped out two pumpkins middle of the season this year. First Tiana, and then for the Tiki Bird. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. What does it have on the other side? Is it a Dole Whip?
It is, I think it's like a flower or a butterfly and stars.
To the back of each one has something simple, just so at night it lights up and looks real pretty. What do you think, Jeffrey? They done good? Better than Tarzan? I mean, nothing's better than Tarzan, but it's good. It fits. Yes. Is it time for us to move on? I think it is. We're late for a very important date. We started so late that we have to get going. I'm going to walk double speed. Mike, it's oddly quiet. A lot of the music in and around the hub area hasn't been playing. So it wasn't playing by the castle. It wasn't playing there in the hub, but I am hearing music up ahead of us.
Snow White's grotto. You can still, like, the fish were coming up out of the water and doing their thing, and then no music. You weren't hearing Snow White humming at the wishing well. It's definitely,
it's eerie when there's no music. Quiet. This is my problem with Galaxy's Edge. This problem that we're having with the hub area, something feels sort of dead and not quite right.
Right.
No music playing. That's why in Galaxy's Edge I'm uncomfortable. No music playing. Sorry, I'm doing my slow burn as I love to do. Very nice. Enchanted Tiki Room was recently refurbished. They didn't really do much other than replace the tree with a new one. It looks the same to you all. It is a little bit different, but it all largely looks the same. It's beautiful in here right now. We're not going into the Tiki Room. We are looking at the lanai here.
It's even better in here at night when the lights are on.
Oh, it's wonderful. We're just missing dusk by about a half an hour. It's starting to get dark now around 6:30-ish, and our live ends at 6, but we're seeing the effects of it. You'll see some lights starting to turn on by the end of our video today.
Yeah.
And here's Tagaroa, which was redone, I think mostly to give it a little more height up here, so when the tiki dots fall at the end, it's not as much of an obstruction for guests. We're headed out. Aloha. Aloha, everyone. Did Miss Teresa Corey find her way back to the live? She is on. She would want me to let you all know that we are headed to Orlando for a big MiceChat trip. Eric and I will be going. Lots of our friends will be there. And on the 24th, Mike.
Yes.
We're doing a little Epcot sip and nibble, and that is a stroll around World Showcase to try some of the new foods and beverages from this year's Food and Wine Festival.
I'm excited about that.
Something that we've been doing for a long time now, almost 20 years.
This will be my first one.
Oh, it's so much fun. It's just a constant buzz for hours on end. We do stop along the way to do things like the Mexico boat ride, and we won't be able to get on the Frozen ride because that one is, of course, on Lightning Lane, and it'd be impossible to get everyone in there. But if you'd like to join us, folks, we're meeting at 11 a.m. In, I don't even know what the name of the Communicore Hall, I believe they call it.
Yes.
It's the new building. Remember, there were 4 sections to Communicore Plaza, and they tore down one section and they rebuilt it. It's that building. It's also where they do the character meet and greets, but we're going to meet on the inside section. There's a window there where you can buy food, and there's a big hall-like area just in case it's hot or it's rainy, it's Florida, and that could happen. Either one of those things could happen.
You never know.
Mike, if we look this direction, you see the glass elephant up there that used to be in the ice cream parlor on Main Street, Tropical Imports, and you look all the way up, and next to the glass elephant, there is
Donald.
Pumpkin. Donald was part of that. Pluto's Pumpkin Pursuit. Thankfully, we have Evan out there helping everyone know that we had a little bit of a technical issue earlier. So
just a little.
Thank you for filling everyone in. I appreciate it.
The wait time for Indy is a little bit more than what it was earlier.
Yes, Ronnie, the landscape up is not working today because we are going live from YouTube and it forced me to start in vertical mode.
It did.
I tried the landscape, but it was having none of that. So
YouTube has some weird
it does. We'll figure
defaults.
it out. We have a lot of exciting changes and things coming up in the future, including perhaps a second live video every week, one from Florida. We'll see if we can pull all this off. We need to figure out our technology. So if any of you are experts in which platforms are best, let us know. We were using Prism before.
We've tried a few.
We have tried a lot. And some of them charge a lot of money. And of course, we don't make any money on these videos, nothing. So anything that charges us a monthly fee is tough, but we are paying for Prism so that we can stream on both Facebook and YouTube at the same time. It's a passion project. This is something we're doing for you all because we appreciate our followers. The bridge is not busy and there's not many people online for pirates outside the queue, but inside the queue there's plenty of people waiting.
This queue is
this beautiful view here from Tarzan's treehouse.
I need this picture here.
Through Pirates, that's the old Dream Suite up there, now part of 21 Royal. Some people waiting here for Pirates, but not many people waiting outside the queue. Normally we would see them all lined up here on the bridge, but the closer we get to Fantasmic, usually the shorter the line gets for Pirates.
This is also a Oogie Boogie night too.
It is. It's going to get a little busier at Disneyland as we get closer to Oogie Boogie. So lots of people wearing costumes tonight, wandering around, even at Disneyland. They go to Disneyland first and they head over and do their Oogie Boogie.
Some of them wait here until the lines die down.
Yep.
Yep.
Some folks getting ready to do 21 Royal. I'm not going to bother them, but long lines of people waiting to go see Jack and Sally. I keep wondering, what are they selling that there's such a long line to get into that store? No one's waiting to get into the store.
No.
They're waiting to see
the new Jack Skellington.
New Jack Skellington with his new not scary head. Last year you wrote, because he just had this plastic thing on top of his head and then the human skull underneath and it looked weird. And we complained about it, and this year they fixed it. I don't think it had anything to do with us. I'm sure they looked at it every day and thought, when are we going to fix this? They finally did. Fixed it in Florida as well.
I think it looks a lot better now.
Yep. Have you eaten here recently?
It's been a while.
I am not thrilled with the menus. Some of the restaurants at the resort have reduced their menus to such a point that they don't have enough variety. And when you have picky people like me, I love food, but I don't like spicy, I don't like too much dairy, and they just don't have a lot of options.
Right.
And then, I asked them if they could make a certain salad without cheese. No, because they can't make changes. I'm like, great. So I'll watch everybody else in my party eat, and then I said, what about the French fries? Can you get me just plain French fries without the Parmesan? They refused to do that.
Oh.
It was horrible. So I won't overpay to then not be able to eat.
No.
Which is tough because lots of people out there with all sorts of dietary needs. I'm just walking this way just a little bit, Mike. We're not going to go all the way in here or get on the train, as much as I would like to hop a train and just ride around for the rest of our hour.
That would be nice.
Wouldn't it? Instead, I'm going to get a wheelchair. We'll borrow one of these strollers. I'll put you in it and just roll you around.
You know what? I would let you roll me around in a stroller.
I just wanted to see if they'd replanted over here. I mean, they kind of have. They have the fall-colored flowers. This is that off-the-shelf fountain that is identical to the one at my grandmother's house when I was growing up. So I'm nostalgic about it. She had two of them, one on either side of her front door.
Why do I not remember water being in there for a while?
Well, when they first, I think when they first built this, it didn't work. And they may have had flowers in there, but working now.
I wonder if they got it working at the same time that the new Frontier or Adventureland waterfall or fountain
Maybe.
started working. I don't know.
They got rid of those big giant waterfalls at the Disneyland Hotel and replaced them with little tiny fountains.
So sad. What was the show that used to be there?
The
Uh-oh.
I'm going to call it the Wonderful World of Water. I don't know. Fantasy Waters.
Ah, there it is.
Fantasy Waters. Haunted Mansion. Sorry, I was slowing down because there was people in the way, but 45-minute wait right now for Haunted Mansion, just to give you an idea of the crowd level. And the crowds today have been strange. There have been times when it felt busy. There have been times when it felt not busy. It was 15 minutes for Star Tours. It was 15 minutes for Buzz Lightyear. It was less than an hour for Rise of the Resistance. And then it got busier. And as it gets closer to the hour they kick everyone out of California Adventure, unless you have an Oogie Boogie ticket, it will get even busier here because there's nowhere else for those people to go if they want to stay and see fireworks and all those things. Well, there are no fireworks tonight.
Nope, it's projections
fireworks
only.
Are Friday, Saturday, Sunday right now.
I think as we get closer to the holidays.
Yep. Something that didn't quite make it into our last update, and I need to make sure I get it in for Monday, and I'm going to show you all. This is Madame Leota's shop. Pretty new.
Yeah, fairly new.
Opened last year, or beginning of this year?
Yeah.
So here's the front side of her sign over here.
Uh-oh. The sunny, that's the not sunny side.
Here's the bad side, Mike.
And
it's already peeling right there.
This is the side that gets all the sun.
Look at how bad that is.
Oof.
That's not the greatest.
No.
Mishmash inside of Halloween and Nightmare Before Christmas. They have added a few things to make it fit better with the Nightmare Before Christmas version that the attraction is currently in. So you see a lot of Oogie Boogie stuff in the back here, and there's even a sign that they have up inside. It's a new line of stuff, Mike, that I really like in here. Oh, that's really great. Natalie, if she's watching, will be very happy. I'm such a huge fan of any kind of golden book.
I love golden books.
They're the only kind of words I can read. Madame Leota welcomes Jack Skellington. So that's kind of the tie-in, helps you bridge the fact that all of the sudden this mansion shop is next to a ride that's all about
I've heard the story before, but what's the story behind the cat in the chair? There's something.
So there is a Mark Davis concept painting of a woman that becomes a Black Panther, and she's laying on sort of a chaise lounge.
Yes.
And I think it's an homage to that early concept art. It does show up from time to time in Disney things. There's a new line of Haunted Mansion merch that has kind of the castle blueprint on it. I'm trying to look to see if I see it in here right now. Here it is over here, for example. This bag has the print on it. On our social media channel, we published it as well because they have a version for Walt Disney World that's their version of the mansion. So they made the bag in both versions, ours and theirs. I like it a lot. The only thing that would make it better, and one of our authors, Laura Gonzalez, said she wants to buy both of them, tear it apart, and put it back together again so our mansion is on one side and theirs is on the other.
That would be a cool idea.
All right, out, damn spot. There's a special cookie right now. Did we find Ondo? Ondo. Earlier, when I first saw you, you were eating a cookie.
Yes.
It was pumpkin flavored. And where is it from?
Right there.
Right here, Harbor Galley.
Harbor Galley.
So if you like the chocolate chip cookies they normally have, fresh baked, they have fresh baked pumpkin cookies. And what was your verdict? Good, bad, skip it? Get the chocolate chip instead or get the pumpkin?
I think pumpkin. Just
You like the
seasonal.
pumpkin. Is it like a pumpkin flavored sugar cookie? What did you think?
It's very sweet.
Very sweet.
And apparently you can get cream cheese frosting on the side for
Oh. Cream cheese frosting on the side
See,
for
I'm the
$1.
unpopular one. I don't do pumpkin spice anything.
You don't?
No. I'll take the chocolate chip, thank you.
It's hard to pass up a chocolate chip cookie, but I don't mind a change up every once in a blue moon. And they have been doing specialty cookies there for a while. It's such a phenomenon. People love the fresh baked cookies.
Oh yeah.
Disney isn't making that cookie dough; they're buying it.
Oh, and I found out
And
from
we published at one point the company that makes it. So, but they only sell it in bulk. You buy big tubs of it, and then you can make their cookies. But they're good.
When you purchase it in bulk, your freezer had better be empty.
Or you need a separate freezer.
Right. That's how much they get. That's how much you have to buy.
So, Mike, this last week, they raised prices.
Yes, they did.
And they go up every year around the same time. Last year was on the 9th. This year it was on the 8th of October. And every year the prices keep marching upwards, upwards, upwards. This year it surprised me how much didn't change. So the lowest cost ticket is still $104 a day.
Yes.
1 day, one park, no lightning lane, no park hopping. The upper tier ticket did jump way up. I think it was at about 106 before, and now it's like 126 or something. So they really raised it on the high end, but not at all on the low end. But here's the big surprise for me. The Magic Keys, the bottom 2 tiered Magic Keys did not go up in price.
They didn't.
No. And I can't remember the last time that annual passes did not go up in price. At Walt Disney World, all of their annual passes went up in price. So I'm thinking, to me, this screams that Disneyland is worried about potential softness in visits this coming year. There's some signs that tourism might be in trouble. We already know that Canadians and Mexicans are not coming to visit in the numbers that they were before. They may be expecting more softness like that in the coming year, and they want to make sure they don't run away all of their local visitors as well. So on the least in-demand days, the ones that were $104, even the 2 tiers above that didn't move much in price. So I think they're hoping that they can push people into those less in-demand days by making the more in-demand days that they're always going to be busy no matter what a little more expensive, the less in-demand days about the same price that they have been, and including for annual passes, and make sure those passes that cover those less in-demand days also do not price people out. So it's very interesting because they could easily have raised prices on everything.
And I think I also saw that even for the Magic Keys, the down payment used to be $120 or $130 something for down payment. And I think the down payment was dropped to $99.
Okay, that's crazy. That also indicates to you that maybe they don't have as many Magic Keys as they want us all to believe. And they keep selling out the Magic Keys where you can't buy a new one, you can only renew. And I think some of that is a false sense of scarcity, so that they force you into renewing because you never know if you're going to be able to get one again. That's part of that. But I think also they may just have squeezed themselves out of a lot of the annual pass holders, and they're forcing people right now into the upper tier passes,
which went up by $150.
The lower tiered ones, I believe, that are not available. Isn't that right? Or is it the other way around?
Yes, that's correct.
So that makes it so if you need a pass, you have to get an expensive one, which is good all of the time.
But you only pay $99 down instead of the 120 something or 130.
Cost you less to get one.
But your monthly installment's going to go up.
Be higher, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. That's a piece of it. They also raised the price by $5 on parking. They raised the price of Lightning Lane.
Merchandise went up too.
Merchandise went up. We're expecting just about everything, and there are a lot of reasons why these things are happening. One of the biggies is Disneyland was just involved in the largest ever settlement of wage theft. So their employees were entitled to a new higher minimum wage in Anaheim.
With retro pay, I believe.
That's right. And Disney decided they weren't going to pay the higher rate, and they were sued. And the court said, no, there's a law, and you didn't abide by it, so you have to pay it, and you have to pay back pay and with penalties. So it was the largest ever in the state of California wage theft.
Which is huge because how long ago did that start? That was 2 years ago?
Yep.
And if they have to pay a percentage per year on that, on the penalties?
It's going to be, well, it is enormous. Hundreds of millions of dollars. And here's the crazy part. So I wrote instantly that it's not Disneyland who is ultimately going to suffer for that.
No,
It's you and I
it is, yeah, exactly.
and the employees.
Classic
So-
passing the buck onto the consumer.
And that's exactly what has happened here. So not only have they now done a price increase, but they are also kind of larger increases on the smaller things. Like parking jumped $5.
Yep.
The cost of Lightning Lane jumped way up. The cost of a park hopper went way up. So it costs more than it ever has to park hop. And park hopping, the add-on isn't the same every day. So
Right.
the more in-demand days, it could be almost $100 more to park hop
Right.
on the most in-demand days. And they're, of course, raising the price of food and beverage and merchandise. But,
Yes.
Mike, they're doing something insidious here. They've chopped the early magic mornings for hotel guests.
Yes.
So no more early entry.
Disappointing.
And they're now going to shorten the hours headed into the holidays.
Yep.
So on days the park would have closed at midnight, I believe they're now going to be closing at 11. That's surprising to me. So either they're not expecting as many guests or they're simply cutting labor to make up for that huge labor violation. So
Gee, that sounds
again,
familiar. Didn't they do
yeah.
that with entertainment?
So Disney makes the error, but they make you and I and their own employees suffer for it. That upsets me.
And you saw what else they did in Walt Disney World that I'm expecting here at some point. I mean, it's going to have to happen. But the outdoor vending stuff, so like where you buy your popcorn and where you buy your candy and cotton candy stuff,
yes.
went to cashless. So there's no more cash at those carts anymore.
I don't know if it's all of them, but
It's not all of them.
they're on their way to doing that.
They're on their way to all of them, yeah.
So some of the cards are card only. Now, there are laws about that. You have to allow people to use legal tender, but the ways around that are to offer cash cards where you can feed dollar bills into
Yep,
a
like what Knott's
machine.
Berry Farm does.
Yep, that's how Knott's handles it. So if Disney doesn't do that, there'll be lawsuits. They're probably right now going to claim that they can get away with it because there are many of their other carts that just don't require it right now.
So,
but
I'm
very
being-
curious to see if that happens here.
It's over 50 ODV carts, outdoor vending carts, that are affected right now.
That's wild.
That's a lot of them.
Now, I don't ever pay using cash in the parks anymore. I don't
Rare.
want to carry a lot of cash around when I'm in a tourist location.
Right.
That's your biggest risk for losing all your money.
Right.
You set down a bag and wander away from it, and now you've lost everything, or somebody steals it, or you go on a ride, you know,
Right.
and you put it in a locker, but it wasn't locked properly, and then it's gone. I don't want to have everything I own gone like that. So
I have to say, in the last 5 years, I used cash once, and that was yesterday for the first time.
wow.
Usually I'm using card.
So it doesn't bother me a lot if they're going to go cashless, especially if it helps. I mean, that's the kind of ways, if it's going to save them a little bit of money, it doesn't really hurt most people. If you can afford to get into the Disney parks, you probably have a credit card.
Now, the other thing is, too, is that at Walt Disney World, you get a lot of people who are using the dining plan or the room charge or their Apple Pay anyway. So that's probably less of an effect also.
Yep. Andrew Kim said he doesn't mind the price increase as much as he minds getting hit with cuts like no shows.
Right, you're
And
getting
I
more
agree.
for.
I mean, that is exactly the point of what we're
Paying
saying.
more for less.
They're cutting hours. They're staffing certain things with fewer cast members. They're cutting shows. So they're cutting services to guests. They're cutting hours for employees. And they're raising prices at the same time, but they're already charging more than anybody else charges.
Right.
So it's a premium price to visit Disneyland compared to, let's say, Knott's Berry Farm. And
Yep.
one of our staff members, Jonathan Beer, was noting that the same time Disneyland is raising the price of its highest cost annual passes, Knott's Berry Farm lowered theirs by $100.
That's significant.
So their highest level pass at Knott's Berry Farm is now nearly the same price as a visit to Disneyland for one day.
And I think I saw something, there's a comparison to Universal even on that.
Yep. And yes, Disneyland offers you so much more ultimately, but there are other entertainment options out there. And I do wonder, at what point do people start dialing back and saying, I don't need the annual pass anymore. I'm going to do this new SoCal ticket promo that they also, so the same time that they rolled out, let's choose on the other side of the fence with Ray, but at the same time they rolled out the higher prices, They also rolled out a discounted multi-day ticket offer for SoCal residents.
It almost feels like they're trying to hand you something smaller and take, you know, the big toy away.
Chewie is wandering around the base of the Millennium Falcon over there. He's got some sort of a wrench. Mike, the ship may be having trouble. Could be why it's been parked here for so long.
Could be.
I thought I saw the spaceship parking enforcement out here. They put a boot on the Millennium Falcon, so it just can't safely take off.
Maybe it's all those tickets placed on the windshield wipers.
Of course, he's there with Ray. I haven't seen Luke here in a while. Is he still wandering around?
I haven't seen Luke in a while either.
Bard up there.
Donald Duck.
You saw Luke sitting?
Donald Duck, you can see him in here.
No, we're not talking about Donald Duck anymore. 3 weeks in a row, Ando's pet project. He wants you to believe that there are hidden Donald Ducks everywhere, but his favorite one is right here at Oga's Cantina. We're not stopping to look at it again. I refuse to show you. I will not show you the hidden Donald Duck. There's his eyes. I won't show it to you.
Dusty.
I'm not going to do
Dusty,
it.
have you ever seen the hidden Donald Duck?
There it is. Long line here to get into Oga's. No more reservations for Oga's Cantina. You just get in line. And the weather is a little nicer right now, so people
Mine's not
are
so bad.
waiting. You're not out in the sun. Now I'm conflicted. When they first did this, I'm like, yes, one for the little guy. They got rid of those horrible reservations. You have to be up in the middle of the night, make that reservation the second it becomes available. There's so much you need to know. It makes visiting the park so difficult. And then I get here and see the long, long line, and I think, wouldn't it be easier if they just had reservations?
Right?
Attention,
Uh-oh.
citizens, travelers, all of you in
Bob
the
Iger up there, folks.
hear me. As you can see for yourself, the First Order has restored security and control to what once was a disorderly and dysfunctional place. Unlike the Resistance, which we have all but destroyed, and what little remains will be crushed. They have no weapons, no army, and no heroes. And yet they are making a useless attempt to regroup and stand against us when they have no chance.
It's very stressful.
We
for the
have
theme
tracked a
park.
resistance spy to this outpost, no doubt searching for a place to hide. He cannot be operating alone. Someone is helping him.
So Walt would not have liked this. Thought it was okay for the rides to be stressful, but he felt like Disneyland itself needed to be a place of comfort.
Well, that's why he had the berms around.
The berms, but also even Haunted Mansion. They wanted to make the Haunted Mansion scary.
Yeah.
Walt said no. You make the inside scary. The outside is Disneyland.
Right.
Disneyland is not scary. It needs to be well maintained. Walt believed in the truth, not sugarcoating things, but he also wanted there to be a architecture of reassurance to Disneyland. Galaxy's Edge violates that in every possible way.
Yes.
The land itself looks ramshackled and rusted, and it's beautiful, and I love it, but it is not Disneyland. It's more Animal Kingdom.
You're almost afraid of what's going to jump out of the
The
bushes.
studios. Disney has other parks that could have contained this, but this is not what Walt wanted in his park. And since they built this in Walt's park, that otherwise, for the most part, still adheres to Walt's rules, it just always felt off to me.
Yes.
And it would have been great. Like they could have plunked it down where Pixar Pier is today, or what was Paradise Pier back then.
Or in a new third park.
In a new third park. Exactly. Exactly. They took away the key thing. Or is that
Nope,
it?
it's still
No,
there. It's just smaller now.
It's smaller. It's hidden by a small child.
He's so cute. He's like waiting for his mom.
I feel less stressed now. We've left Galaxy's Edge. Something about that guy
Hold
shouting.
on.
I had to keep
There's
moving.
there's no music here at all
no
either.
BGM. Maybe they're saving money by cutting background music.
Oh no. They furloughed the musicians.
Careful
on
what
their
we
side.
say because every influencer is going to pick that up. MiceChat said they cut the budget on background
This is
music,
not what we're saying.
which in the industry they call BGM, folks. So if you ever
Background
heard
music.
hear Imagineers or people calling it BGM, means background music. I have a friend that actually writes BGM for theme parks. He's a very talented guy, Andy Garfield. I can't walk this way without noticing the camera in the window directly in
Yes.
front of us at the, yeah,
Smile and wave
it's
for the camera,
hidden
folks.
poorly. For a while there, they had some strapped to the outside of Haunted Mansion. We complained so much.
Oh yeah.
They did have to remove those.
They had
Those
to
are just
fix that.
horrible. Mikey, this project, this never-ending project to refurbish Storybook Land and Casey Jr. is nearing an end, and there's some news.
There's some
There's some
great news, I think.
I think it's great news, but those of you who've been watching these lives for a while know what this news is going to be.
Yeah.
What have I said they were going to build there? There was a permit to install a post, a tower.
Mm-hmm.
I said it's definitely going to be Tangled. And
Yep.
what did they announce this last week?
Tangled.
Tangled is
Rapunzel's
coming.
Tower.
That's right. So as you're headed back towards the dock and you're passing the Giant's Quilt, just before you go under the tunnels at the end of the quilt, on your left-hand side will be Rapunzel's Tower. They'll also have some new fairy lights. It's going to play 2 different songs, one by day and at night. At last I've seen the light.
Knowing how they do Storybook Land, I think it's going to be really nice.
I have no complaints.
No.
I think you want to keep an old attraction like that vital for a future generation. Plop their favorite animated features in there. Keep it vital.
Right.
You can still have things like Toad Hall and Wind in the Willows. Well, they're all the same. That is Wind in the Willows. As
Excuse
long
me.
as you have Toad Hall, Wind in the Willows, and Toad Hall, it's all good. Golden hour, Mike. Golden hour.
We're getting
I
there.
see Mike his hands are itching because he just needs to take photos. Look at us because it's golden hour. My favorite time. Last week I was running through the park for an hour. Everything just looked so perfect. And tonight you've got light hitting the Matterhorn, for example, but it still has clouds behind it. That's a pretty picture. Look at that. And Mashiko likes the idea of the Tangled Tower. I do as well. I think
Yeah.
there are other things that can be added to many attractions to keep them up to date. They do that from time to time with Haunted Mansion.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think there's yet another surprise that I'll be talking about soon coming to the mansion. Pirates of the Caribbean gets updates all of the time. I think there may be some surprises coming there. All sorts of little things that they can add to old attractions to keep them vital. A lot of the Fantasyland rides have done that over recent years. One of them is right here to our right. We'll see a long line. And this long line started, Mike, around the time they made enhancements to this ride.
It did.
This is Alice in Wonderland on our right up here. Has long been my favorite Fantasyland ride, and I
Mine
rarely get to
too.
ride it. But years ago, they added video projections behind some of the scenes, so the animated characters are still animated. But in the background, they animated the backgrounds to make them look more alive. And as a result of that, the ride is more magical than it's ever been. And instantly it became everyone's favorite ride. And then these lines, look at this.
It's a long line.
It's like trying to get on Peter Pan. In
It
a way,
is.
it's better than Peter Pan because the longer ride than Peter Pan.
It is.
I think it's magical. It has so many incredibly whimsical elements. The music is wonderful. And then you exit out here and you're outside in this little turnaround. So it has this surprise ending. It's a wonderful attraction.
It is.
So lots of little things to plus old rides. They also plussed up, of course, Snow White's Enchanted Wish. It has a whole new ending. A lot of technical effects in there, not unlike you would find in Haunted Mansion.
Right. Although I do have to say, I love Alice in Wonderland the way it is, but I wish they could have kept the upside down room somehow.
In Alice in Wonderland?
Mm-hmm.
Where was it?
I think it was in the beginning.
I don't remember.
Where they had the upside down room, long time ago.
I was here the other night with you, and it was after a live, and they were doing the projection Celebrate Happy on the facade, where they played the new theme song for the 70th anniversary, and all of the animations on the facade of It's a Small World, including things that are gone, like people movers and skyway buckets. It's really good, Mike. One of my favorite things about the 70th anniversary, and I was glad to see it still happening.
Yeah.
If you are here at night, folks, definitely make your way back to Small World Mall. Find out what the times are for Celebrate Happy projection show on the facade of It's a Small World. One of my favorite things about the 70th. Still going on.
I like the nostalgia.
Yes, indeed. So we're headed into very dangerous country here. It isn't headhunter country, but it is still a terrible place to be headed. And of course, that place is Tomorrowland. Tomorrowland. Terrible place to be headed. And there are still some very good things in Tomorrowland. My favorites include Space Mountain.
Yes.
And there you have it.
That's Tomorrowland.
I do think it's time for Buzz Lightyear to get a bit of an update. It feels very flat and basic to me. Star Tours is due for some new animated segments there, some new CGI'd segments. Definitely would love to see that ride enhanced in some way. Intervention Building leaves me so sad. The fact that Orbitron at the top of People Mover Plaza doesn't move.
Right.
There is no People Mover or Rocket Rod or anything else up on the old People Mover tracks. Makes me sad. The empty Starcade building, horribly sad.
The upside down room in Alice in Wonderland.
There it is. Thank you very much for sharing that with me. Did somebody post that into the chat?
It was just sent to me directly.
Fantastic.
I will share that though.
Eric, have you ever been on the submarines?
But I was a kid.
Here, look at this view. They wrapped that monorail for one of Mickey's anniversaries many, many moons ago. Why is it still on there? Because when they tried to remove the wrap,
Paint came up. Yeah.
pulled the paint off. So they decided to leave the wrap on rather than pay to have the monorail repainted.
Well, in painting these things,
They're now all wrapped in one way or another.
they are. So you might as well just re-wrap over the peeled paint.
It was a rest for all of us. That was our 7th inning stretch.
Let's go. I'm ready again.
Halloween time, everybody. What are you doing for Halloween? Tell you what I'm doing. Next weekend, I'm flying out to Orlando. I'm going to do all the Halloween things with my bestie, Eric. We're going to do Universal's Halloween Horror Nights, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Then we are going to do the Epcot Sip and Nibble with our MiceChat friends on the 24th, I think at 11 a.m. If you go to Facebook groups and or events and you search MiceChat Sip and Nibble, it'll come up. And there's all the information you need there, where to meet us and when. On the 24th is a Friday, 11 a.m. We even have a way for you to contact us if you need to come later, so we can tell you where we are. So you can meet up with us. Definitely do not miss that. And then if you're looking for something to do on Halloween night, I got a very spooky event at the Disney Mansion in Hollywood, Walt Disney's 1932 mansion. We have a 4-hour event that includes cocktails just after sunset in the dusk And then you'll come into the living room where there's entertainment. We have performers. Then we have Julie Tremaine, the author of the Disney Villains Cookbook. She is producing heavy appetizers inspired by her cookbook. There will even be signature cocktail. Then into the screening room where we'll watch the Tale of Sleepy Hollow, the Headless Horseman, which is why that has been on my mind.
I may have to sign up for this.
Horseman all of the time. And then after the Headless Horseman story, the owner of the mansion, who is currently a horror movie director, he is going to screen a very short for something he's doing. It's not too terrifying, folks, but it is inspired by the Disney mansion itself. You'll be the first to ever see that. Then we grab candles, and by candlelight, we go upstairs into the mansion where I tell you very scary true stories of Los Angeles and Los Feliz and the mansion itself. And then to not leave you too scared, we head back to the living room to end the evening with haunted jazz.
Ooh.
And Mike, I gotta get your face on this. A burlesque performer, Dee Dee Cupcake, doing her signature Bewitched number for Halloween. So we're going to end with Dee Dee Cupcake at midnight. So the witching hour with her Bewitched number. So it's really gonna be a special evening. Also, special gift bag. You can go to hauntedoc.com, and on the front page, you'll see the haunted soiree at the Disney Mansion.
I think I'm already on that page now.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna sign up.
Everybody should sign up. Very limited, 30 people maximum, 4 hours. It's the ultimate Halloween. So if you've always wanted to do a very adult Halloween, but fun and also Disney related, join me at the Disney Mansion on Halloween night. 4 hours leading up to the witching hour itself. We conclude at midnight.
Walls are down here.
The walls are down. We'll take a look.
Yes.
They, I was just taking a look earlier and I took some pictures. They had walls up around the Tomorrowland Terrace stage for several weeks. We assumed they were doing big work, Mike. I got news for you.
They weren't. They
It
were
looks
just
as bad now as it did before.
just with some fresh
I will
paint.
show you, not even. I will show you. The stage, which was also covered, is filthy.
Oh,
Definitely didn't fix the stage. You can see it's rusted and dirty, and
we can't even call this a rattle can overhaul.
And I thought, well, maybe they redid the terrazzo down here. Not that,
No.
because it's all broken and patched and gross. Here's the terrazzo. Couldn't look worse. So let's take a quick spin around. What did they fix? What did they fix? What did they fix?
I saw some fresh paint on the backside. That was about it.
Here's my guess. Probably had a mechanical problem with the lift on the stage.
Mhm.
So they closed it off so they could take it apart and fix it, because they do dance parties and things here for both Halloween and Christmas events.
Needed to get it
but
going.
they sure didn't use that time to fix anything else.
No.
So that was an
That's-
emergency repair and not a cosmetic one. Look how beautiful this view is. We've got our astro orbiter, not astroing or orbiting, but beautiful clouds behind it. These fruit trees and pomegranates and things in the foreground, because for a while there, the future was all about agriculture. So all of the plants in Tomorrowland for a while were edible. So you find persimmons and artichokes,
So I
all
remember
sorts
seeing
of
all this
things.
stuff here.
Yes, the future was edible.
Cabbage.
Because in the future, we would be living on all the farmland, so all the crops would have to come from Tomorrowland.
Makes sense.
The heartbeat of America.
Look how the spires of Space Mountain are turning that golden color now.
Ando says, welcome to Todayland.
It's Yesterland.
It's like from the movie,
Yesterday.
what was that movie called? It was called Tomorrowland, right?
Yeah.
And then you got to the actual Tomorrowland in the movie where they're riding in monorails and all of that. And the big sign in Tomorrowland font said Todayland. Beautiful. And I'm smelling popcorn.
Is that what that is?
Eric is searching for popcorn buckets because he heard that if you're at Walt Disney World,
Oh yeah. What is it, like $2.50?
you carry
or
your
something?
popcorn bucket around, and then for a couple of dollars you can refill.
Mhm.
So he's ready to go. And
Maybe I'll take my Elliott popcorn
did you
bucket
find your
with me.
popcorn bucket for the trip, Eric?
Not yet.
Not yet. Do you have some candidates?
I'm looking at
All right, he's figuring it out. If you don't want to do a spooky tour of the Disney Mansion, but you do want to visit the Disney Mansion, we did also list our tours for November. We have, I think, just 3 tickets left for this weekend out of all of the different tour spots. There's just 3 left. If you visit facebook.com/Disney Mansion, no spaces, or search Walt Disney Storybook Mansion, you'll find our Facebook page. We've listed links to all of our tours, including this weekend, but November are the ones you want to take a look at because those will go quickly. We have not listed yet, but after Thanksgiving, we're going to do some Christmas-themed events.
Ooh, that'll be nice. Churros.
I know, right? The line is very short.
You know, last week I tried the new one in
peanut butter dipping sauce with this chocolate churro. I need that. See what the lines look like. Earlier today it was a 15-minute wait, and then we noticed when we were walking by a little earlier, 30 minutes for Star Tours, and let's see what it's at now, just to get an idea on how the crowds are changing. It was 25 minutes for Buzz Lightyear earlier,
15.
now it's down to 15. So the wait times fluctuate.
This looks to be about 35 minutes.
Mike can take a look at the line and figure it out and see if he's right.
Sometimes
35.
45.
45.
Ooh, I was off.
So really going up. Went from 15 to 30, 30 to 45. And again, that's largely because tonight is an Oogie Boogie night. How many of you made it to Oogie Boogie this year? I skipped it because I'm doing the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party in Florida instead this year. And I was a little bit, upset that they don't make big changes to Oogie Boogie from year to year. Just essentially, they swap out a couple of the character treat trails every year. That's their big change. Knott's Berry Farm swaps out entire mazes. Universal has practically all new mazes every year. So just feel like Disney needs to do a little bit more for the money because they charge more for their Oogie Boogie Bash tickets than Knott's Universal do for their Horror Nights events, which have these tremendous mazes with all the actors. So they really pour money into those events and charge less than Disney does for less.
I've got a friend out in Florida who does the Halloween Horror Nights at Universal. Wonderful. And has the season pass because it's just sometimes easier to do 1 or 2 mazes a night.
Yes. You would have to. If you don't pay for front of line for those things, then you don't see a lot. But you go early, you do a couple of the ones that aren't popular, and you get in without waiting. And then once it starts to fill up, you eat, you enjoy the scare zones, and then you go home.
Definitely.
They have great shows in Florida this year. Nightmare Fuel was wonderful. And they have a Lagoon show at Universal Orlando with music from the horror films and animation and fountains. Wonderful. Really good show.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
So Eric hasn't seen any of that, so you'll get to see that. Are you scared yet? Are you scared? He pushed the camera out of the way, so we're lucky we're still here. Let's see what the wait times are.
Oh, they are much higher than they were. Tiana's Bayou was 60 minutes earlier, but Alice was 15, Astro was 30, Chip, let's see here.
Tea Party's only 10. I'm looking at what you could do quickly. Pirates is 15 minutes, Snow White is 10 minutes. And that's not terrible. So even if the waits are long on certain things, there are still things you can do for a very short wait.
So sorry.
Small World 15, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway 15 minutes. I love that ride.
I do too.
And then Roger Rabbit 35 minutes. Why is Roger always so long? Is it because it's such a slow loader?
Maybe, but earlier Roger Rabbit, I was shocked, was at 15 minutes. And it's rare to see that. That's almost like seeing Peter Pan at 10 minutes, but it's usually 40.
We're headed into Pumpkin Town. We've got a fire truck making its way down the street. No fire, folks, just for fun. The orange and yellow candy corn bunting of Main Street. This is Old Town Halloween charm right here.
It is. I love the jack-o'-lanterns.
Look at this view. The pumpkins, blue sky, clouds, our children of the corn in there, waiting like spiders to trap you in their web. fire truck's being followed up by double-decker bus, omnibus as they call them here. They have 2 omnibuses that they will sometimes run down the street at the same time. And a number of jitneys as well, the smaller cars. Give you a sense of just how bad the traffic can get here on Main Street, USA.
It's definitely
They
busier.
really should have a traffic cop in the center street there.
Oh, you mean like the citizens of Main Street?
That's right. We're going to try to poke our heads into the Emporium real quick so we can look at Christmas merch.
Christmas merch.
Yeah, is it in this side, Mike, or is it, well, I guess still
I believe
Halloween
it's in the
over
Emporium.
here. So we'll take a look. Here's one of the jitneys, the yellow one. Bob Gurr designed most of these vehicles on Main Street, and still to this day comes to the park and hops aboard, and the cast members just love it. He tells them stories about Walt and building these attractions that they are still driving down the streets for guests to this day. There's still so much history here at Disneyland. All right, Mikey. First off, we're seeing the 70th anniversary Mickey Mouse Club merchandise. So it's not just Disneyland that is 70.
Oh, these
Mickey
are the new
Mouse
ones.
Club is as well. I really like this stuff. Eric loves this stuff. I like how fuzzy this is. Nice.
Yeah.
Some nostalgical things, but look at here. They've got a guitar. You need a guitar, Mikey?
Ooh. I think I have enough of them.
This is the new zipper spirit jersey for Christmas. Yeah, color is good.
I kind of think that this would be cool if the flannel style was also sewn on the inside. Like like a lining on the inside.
Yeah, particularly in the hood. Yep, that's nice. It's a pink spirit jersey there now. Flying off the shelves. You know that it's going to be a hot item when they don't even bother to put it on one of the themed racks. They just have these ugly metal rolling racks. In fact, if you could get me a picture of this, I would appreciate it. The pink one too. Here's the pink Disneyland shirt. I think it's just a princess one. I don't think it's Christmas, but each letter is a different princess. But I like the ugly racks. That's what I really want a picture of. I'm looking for Christmas, so on we go. I know we have Halloween in here right now. Here's Christmas up ahead. Whoops, somebody broke something over there. Wasn't me. Halloween stuff here. I have to decide, am I going to get this shirt in time for Florida and wear it maybe just once this year, or skip it? I love the Haunted Mansion lug bag as well. Scary Teddy up there on the shoulder. I'm liking everything about this outfit, Mike.
I think you need some new Crocs to go with it.
No, I do not wear Crocs. But I do see Christmas time up in front of us, including the new Mickey lug bag there. There's the black spirit jersey. We saw the green one earlier. The new ears. Gold Lounge fly bag. Don't know about that. It's another spirit jersey. Does it seem like all spirit jersey and lug, like spirit jersey and lug, have to hold up Christmas time so far at least? And Crocs, but they're fleece lined. Fleece lined Crocs. Mickey Mouse plush. Santa Mickey. Merriest Place on Earth t-shirt. This Donald is very retro. This is wonderful.
I like that one.
Look, Pluto on one sleeve, Goofy on the other sleeve. This is really cute. And Mickey on the back. Really fun, vintagey, mid-century styling versions of the characters. I love that. That's cute. Advent calendar with chocolate in it. Mike, do you know how many days there are in an advent calendar? Neither do I, because I open up all of the doors at once and eat all of the chocolates.
22.
So at first I thought Disney's saving money because their stockings this year are so small, but they're actual socks. See, there's 2 of them there. But when I first saw this, I thought, you're gonna hang that? No way. You get a couple of candy canes in there.
Where
they're not. They're actual socks. This fleece Mickey cap is fantastic.
Why do I feel like this came from one of the foreign parks?
I mean, it looks like something you'd find at Tokyo Disneyland for sure.
Yeah.
Super cute. Did you see that, Eric?
So I've seen them for a while.
You want the bag? That's a nice bag. A Mickey Mouse lug is super cute. Let's go outside real quick. Because it is time. Oh, look at this. I don't think it's necessarily Christmas, but it's super fleecy in winter. This is awesome. Super duper soft, folks.
Whoa.
Nice and fluffy, embroidered Disneyland on it. This is a fantastic. Let's
Inside
turn
and
that
out.
around. That's the back side that we're looking at. Here's the front. It zips. This is a great jacket. That is wonderful.
Yeah, perfect match.
But that's just a regular cap. I don't think it's even a Disney. Does it have a Mickey on it or anything?
Nope, it's
No,
not.
It's just in case you're cold kind of hat. Nice.
We have so many cold days here.
Well, at night you do. You try to get great.
It does get cool here at night.
Look, we're still alive. Now that was alive. We started off with technical issues that forced us to go in vertical mode on just YouTube. So we have no one on Facebook tonight. Hopefully some of them found us. And Mike, you know what it does to me?
Oh, no.
Makes me,
It's gonna turn.
it
Makes
makes
you
me
spinny?
spin. It makes me spin out of control, Mikey. I'm spinning out of control. Thank you for joining us, everybody. It's been wonderful to have you tonight. We still got your hour in. We have so much to share this week. Do come join me at the spooky Disney Mansion. Find out more information on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Disney Mansion, all one word, no spaces. Or of course, anytime that you have a few extra minutes, go to any of your MiceChat properties, micechat.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you name it. We're even on the TikTok. TikTok, anyone? TikTok? See you all again soon. Bye-bye.